the people podcast of the DMV. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we, and God we trust. Sir Rod and Lady Z, PTP. Positive thinking people. Hello. Welcome. This is People to People with Rodney Grimes. I am so excited again today to be able to come to you. Excuse me, I need to drink some water real quick. I'm so excited that I'm choking on this side. But first of all, for everybody that was tuning in at 7, we apologize. We was having some serious difficulties, technical difficulties with the internet and whatever. Because let me tell you something. When there's something real positive getting ready to go on, I always know that a negative energy gonna come in and try to downplay it, and that's not what's happening today because I got the goddess Itasha in the house with me. How you doing, Itasha? So can you hear me? Can you hear me really good? I can't hear you that well. I don't know.
Can you turn the volume up on your computer?
Wait a minute, let me try to turn the volume up on my computer and see what happens. Say something. Okay. Let me see. Testing. We trying to get this.
What about the setting in the on the StreamYard?
Okay, I'm hoping that everyone can hear us really good.
I don't understand. Okay, we switched. I'm hoping that everyone can hear us really good.
Okay, auto adjust my mic. Can you hear me? Oh, you can.
She can hear you loud and clear. You just can't hear.
I'm wondering, can everybody hear you loud and clear?
I'll just text and ask.
So, just hold on. We're going to make this. This is going to come through really good. So.
Oh, you might need your headphones.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. I might need my headphones too. But she can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see, really, let me see something here. Okay, go ahead and say something. So, just now, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
It's going on my laptop now. I'm gonna just log into that real fast. It's gonna allow me to come in.
Okay, because I can hear you. I know they can hear both of us.
Okay, I don't want it to be too loud.
No, they say they can't hear her.
Oh, they can't hear her?
No, Faustine and Rachel, they cannot hear her.
Okay, because I can hear you. I know they can hear both of us. Okay, she just left me.
I'm right here.
Oh, you still there?
Hold on.
It says we can hear Rodney, but not your guest.
How's that? That's.
Okay, can you hear?
We can hear Rodney, but not your guest.
Now, can you hear me?
Hmm?
And say something?
Something. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now better.
Yep.
How's that? Test.
Test.
Okay, can you hear?
We can hear Rodney, but not your guest.
Now, can you hear me?
It's extremely delayed.
Yes.
Okay, they say they can hear you now.
Yep, I have on my headsets and I have it on the laptop now.
Okay. All right. Okay. This is going. We're gonna end up running till 9 o'clock. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. It's no way that I'm gonna be able to get through all of this. And first of all, Itasha, I want to just tell you thank you for accepting the invite at a short notice. And I know that you had quite a few things to deal with, and still you decided to come through as a guest. So I want to say thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Now, one of the things that really been intriguing me, I've been watching you off and on. I've known you for a very, very long time. Many people don't know our relationship, but you are like a daughter to me, and actually, um, answer that. That's Demetria. And so uh, we have a very, very unique relationship. But outside of that relationship, I started to watch you as you had developed into this status of this spiritual realm as a goddess, that you have really, really changed your lifestyle and the way you've been going about doing things. So can you give me a little bit about how did you get into change into this goddess status?
Yes. So at one point I can say that I had a lot of repetitive things happen in my life. So I was wondering, I went to this job. Why does the same thing happen? I come here, I mind my business. Why do I keep on running into the same problem? So I'm like, okay, it has to be something bigger than this. So I ended up talking to one of my coworkers. As you know, I have a law enforcement background, Department of Homeland Security. I did that since shucks. Aiden was 10 months and he's now 14. So while I would be at work, trouble will always find me. And I'm like, what is the problem? I'm not starting anything. Why am I experiencing the same problem? And when I was younger, I would say, I'm going to find out the truth. I didn't know what the truth was, but I said, I'm going to find out the truth. I want to know the truth. So I searched through different religions and everything. And I'm like, I want to find the answer. So I went and talked to one of my coworkers. He was a older Spanish guy. He was a high ranking Mason, but I don't think his knowledge derived from that, from what he was trying to talk to me about. So I said, Melendez, why is it that I keep experiencing the same problem? So he said, have you ever heard of the laws of attraction? I'm like, no, what's that? And he's like, I have a book for you. He's like, are you familiar with the archangels? I'm like, no, what's that? So he told me to read this book called The Secret. I actually have the book here, and my 14-year-old is actually reading it now. So that's great. It teaches you about the way all religions were created. And it's pretty much going off of the laws of attraction, which is how they created most religions. That's because it's going off of ask, believe, receive. So I started reading this book, and I read this book, and I think it had a little over 100 pages, and I read the whole book within 24 hours. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's it. So I cleansed myself. I went vegan. I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks. I did no meat, no juice, no soda. And when I tell you, I felt like I was floating, literally. This was in 2016. So I started there. It started there for me. And I just was seeking healing. I was seeking answers. I'm like, why do I keep running into the same problem? And once I started meditating, once I started understanding the laws of attraction, I started to be able to manifest in short time frames. Where some people, they pray. Prayer is not bad, but when you amplify the need, that's when you're going to continue to amplify the need. But if you speak things into existence, you're already grateful for what you know is yours. It's kind of like from that perspective. So it started there for me with the laws of attraction and going vegan and just having a clear mind, a clear body, so that information can flow through me naturally and at ease from what I actually experienced versus where I was, because I was a very defensive person before, just from my child trauma and everything that I went through. So I knew, by me being such a defensive person, and now I can see clear, Itasha, you're attracting these things into your life. Even though you had a rough childhood, you're still attracting this into your life because you don't have forgiveness in your heart. So you can still, it was all of that. So I knew that I was in the right place. I felt like home there, where it's not a title, because with the title for me, I felt locked into, well, if I'm a Christian, I can't do this. If I'm this person, I can't do that. So instead of wearing any of the titles, I said, look, I'm going to go with what makes sense, because I wanted to know, why when I went to church and I needed help when I had my first apartment at 18, they're like, oh, you're not faithful to your tithe, so we can't help you. I'm like, okay. So I said, you know what? I'm done. I've seen a lot of wicked stuff in the church. I've seen pastors that are married and they're sleeping with men. I've seen it all. So for me, I said, the laws of attraction is where it is for me, because I see that ask, believe, receive. Because when you see people in other countries, you can have a Muslim, you can have a Christian, you can have Catholic, you can have non-denominational, and everyone can still be blessed. It's not taken away from anything because of their belief, but it's all coming from the same source. So that's the only thing that made sense to me. I'm like, okay, now I see why people can be in different walks of life and still be successful in that full, complete happiness. It's not about the title. They're all getting this from one place. So that's where it started for me.
So when you started to understand these things, because I've been watching you over the years, and I've been watching you grow, and I've seen you manifest into
Bring it to me.
this lady with a lot of knowledge. That's why I put pure wisdom as the topic, because many things that you had, I've seen you talk about. I'm talking about just learning who you are and understanding our purpose. I've seen you come into a different level of understanding, and I'm, of course, I'm your adopted dad, so we do know I'm old enough to be your father biologically for real. But I do know this, that from I watched you over the years, and I've been kind of going back and forth with you, just telling you how proud I am of you, because I watched how you start taking on these different areas of how you've been moving and how you've been dealing with things. And it's so many things that I saw you go through and phases, even as you had your children.
They helped me too. They helped me along the way as well. I missed that part, but we can get there next.
Yeah, no, I'm speak about that a little bit, because I saw you as you carried your first child.
And he's 14.
Yeah.
And I was 21. Well, I was 20. Yeah, 21.
I remember I shot the photos of you carrying him.
Yep.
And I watched you. I was like, at first I didn't understand a lot of what you were doing and how you was going about it. And then I started watching it. I was like, you are so natural with your connection with your child. It was phenomenal.
You talking about with Aiden?
About that.
So you talking about with Aiden, when I would always come over to you guys' house when he was little, when he was a baby?
Yeah.
So it was natural for me because as a child, I was always by myself. I wasn't with my siblings. I didn't get it from anywhere. I'm naturally born that way. Like when I say I know I'm a chosen one, I'm naturally born with like a lot of skills, Dad. You know that. Like I just everything, me being who I am, a licensed hairstylist straight out of high school, being a firearms instructor, having years of Department of Homeland Security, doing mental health for children, mental health for the military, fire EMS, police, being in the school system, teaching children trauma-wise from 3 years old and up. I just have a whole lot of skills. So it's just natural. I don't know why. Like that, I don't know. I really don't know why. Besides the fact that I'm a chosen one. I'm here to teach. So I feel like naturally with my son, I said, I want to do something different with my children. I wanted to actually have like 10 kids, to be honest, because I was always by myself. So I wanted to build a big family in my immediate household so that I could teach my children and give them what I never had. So it just was natural. I don't know why I chose. Well, I do know why. I chose it because I was always mature. I had some really. She can, but she needs to have some clothes. She can nurse. That's fine. But yes, I learned from other people's mistakes. Aiden's, they're taking care of Nala for me, and she just used the bathroom. So Amir was like coming telling me. So he put her in the shower so he wouldn't have to wipe her and spraying her down with the shower. So just like that, like the way I teach them is different from what other people teach. And this came from an old school homeschool advisor that I have. And she's like, the first year of her life, they need to be learning how to be dads. I'm like, what? I'm not comfortable with that. What do you mean? So then I had a better understanding of the respect she has to have on the shirt because she's a minor. The different level of respect, that the boundaries, they learn boundaries, at an early age. And some people would say, oh, well, why would you allow, because you're not talking about typical 14-year-old. Aiden is the one that's doing it, not Amir. He's 11. He's not really comfortable with that. But Aiden is in full blown maturity when it comes to his sibling. And it just comes natural. I didn't really realize how amazing I was until honestly, some people, thank you, Aiden, some people said it. They actually said something to me about it. And they're like, your children are so well behaved. How do you do this? Or so I can't say that I watched someone do something when Aiden was a child. I just naturally did it. Whatever you saw me do, it was natural. Like I felt like that's what I needed to do. And I always research things. I always cross my T's and dot my I's, even with the doctors. Like it's worse now. But when I was younger, I still let Aiden get all his vaccinations because I didn't know better. But now I've done something completely different with her and I see the difference.
Okay. Now getting into the we talked about we had a conversation the other day when you were going live, and I was kind of like just kind of chatting in with you, but when you talking about getting to know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have a problem doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your advice to some people who are trying to get to know themselves?
So this is one of my favorite topics. I would say when it comes to getting to know yourself, you have to understand what you're made of. So when you have an understanding of how your brain works, because we are creatures of habits as we are humans, understanding brain frequencies, understanding your neurological system. This is something that I talk about all the time. This is deep, so y'all gonna have to get y'all pen and papers with this conversation. So don't miss it. I know you're gonna have it on this page, but still, this is something that if you have any questions, please ask, because I can't see the questions, but Dad can tell me what they are. Or I might be able to see them on the side if they pop up. But yes, understanding the brain. This is a part of my trauma course that I learned. And one thing that I can say is having a licensed counselor isn't the answer. Some people will be mad at that, but I'm just being honest. And I say that because licensed counselors go through the same system that tricked your mind into believing that the way you live life is the way you're supposed to live life. The things that you do is what you're supposed to do. But it's really the complete opposite. It's really important that we understand what we're made of so that we're able to have more control over our lives. One thing that I always say, and people, they don't like when I say this, but I say it because it's true. One of those things are when you were born, you were told what to do, what to think, and who to trust. How much of that is your own thoughts? That would be zero. It would be zero because you're being led by someone, you're being guided by someone, be it a positive or negative influence in your life, and they got that from someone else. So when you know that that's the case, don't be afraid to question what you've been taught, because then in that case, it locks you into believing one way and you never get to see outside of that. So we have to release that comfort of the knowing and what we're born with and start to get to learn what we're made out of. And when you learn how you process thoughts, when you learn how you process trauma, you want to start to go within yourself. The answer isn't outside of you. And that is the problem with a lot of people. They think that going to, I won't say that quite yet, but they think going to a licensed professional for help is the answer. They think that going to church every Sunday is the answer. If you're not doing the work, if you're not taking 2 steps, God can't take 10. The universe can't take 10. The creator, I'm going to say the creator, the most high. I'm not going to put a name on it. I say the most high because I know there is a most high. But the story that they gave us to believe led us to not look within ourselves. So when you're taught to look outside and look in the sky, that was done by design, because the true answer, we're all the child of God. So the true
Come
answer
on.
is in you already. So you don't have to look outside of yourself. So then you find yourself looking outside yourself for 50, 60 years. And then you figure out, whoa, I've been lied to. Like all this time, I'm still having to go back and do the same work that I could have done 20, 30, 40 years ago. And I could have been a better person. But this was all done by design for you to look outside so you never see what's in you, so that we wouldn't create the most powerful fellowship that we could ever have, is knowing who we are and coming together. Then with not knowing who we are, then you got separation. Intentionally talking about race has nothing to do with it. I see it firsthand from where I live in Florida. I see it. Caucasians, everybody's struggling. It's not a race battle, but they want to create separation to make us as far apart as possible, and to get us far away from ourselves, creating a life where our children don't know themselves because they're in school systems that were only built 200 years ago to make you a worker, and then they're competing against other children. And that's not the answer. It's really important that we start to look within ourselves so that we have a better understanding on every level, what we're made out of, and how to make sound decisions, because you can't make sound decisions looking outside of yourself, looking at other things that were created to distract you. It's just so much. It's so much to it. I can go on and on about this one. I
No,
can
no,
go on and on and on.
I love the fact that when you talk about just getting to know yourself, that was one of the things that I did over the weekend. We went away, and we was in the company of some very, very dear friends of ours, and I was detoxing my body, but I also was detoxing my mind as well. And I was thinking when I was alone, I was taking the naps. I was really thinking about who am I? What am I doing? How am I? How am I responding? Why are things this way? What part did I play in it? How can I change the narratives of my tomorrow? And what I started to realize is this: first of all, is to deal with who I am, know what my triggers are, understand the things that I like and the things that I don't, know the things that are comfortable for me, and what is it that gets me into the zone where I can't concentrate? What is it that gets me where I start to feel weak and down? What makes me depressed?
Mm-hmm.
And the more and more I started to really ask myself this,
Mm-hmm. You had an answer
I
all along.
realized that a lot of it is outside of me that
Mm-hmm.
I allow to come inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is by design. And when people don't think about this, they don't realize that there have been conquerors from the beginning of time. Now we have our creator, Yah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We
Mm-hmm.
do. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have realized if you lean on that way of living,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll find that you can't control those people
Mm-hmm.
who know the relationship with the creator
Mm-hmm.
and know themselves. You
Mm-hmm.
can't control them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you was talking about, getting to know yourself, that's when it makes a big difference. You know how to beat them drug habits, you know how to
Mm-hmm.
drinking habits, those
Mm-hmm.
bad relation habits, that self-abuse habits. When
Mm-hmm.
you start to really get to know yourself. I heard you the other day, you was talking real deep on that.
I
And
get
that was something that I know that you really, really are adamant about. Now,
it.
I want to also get into some of the things when you started to really, because I noticed that you also had got into the meditation and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature real
Mm-hmm.
heavy.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like when you started to do that?
It was learning how to take a break from your thoughts. A lot of people can't change their bad habits because they don't understand that we have so many thoughts go through our minds. So when I was able to take a break from the world, it creates that separation between reality and complete peace. And I'm gonna be honest with you, because we have the control all along. You should be able to get to the point in your life where you can have missiles going past your head and you can still stay in meditation and focus, because meditation isn't just about closing your eyes. Meditation is about controlling the mind. So if you can control your mind, you can actually reverse a lot of traumas and things of that nature, because then you're able to actually deal with everything that comes to you the way it's supposed to. So when something happens, for instance, that's what I talked about the other day. When something happens, oftentimes we handle it the way we think we're supposed to handle it. We handle it more than likely in a stressful way because we weren't taught how to process our emotions and how to not allow our physical to take the impact from our experiences. So the only way that you can do that is to be in tune with yourself. And like you said, what was your question? Your question to me was, what was it at?
But
What was your question?
basically, when you was really
Oh,
getting to
meditation. Meditation.
meditation.
Yeah, what was it like? So like I said, it was about peace. And I want to say, and the reason why I went back to your question is because I can get really deep, and that's not your answer. That's not what you asked me. So I want to make sure I stay on topic, and then we get deep when necessary. And that's a part of my growth too, because it'll be one topic and I'll be somewhere else. It's good because you learn. Girl, whose birthday is it? Get your birthday. Go down there. Go in the room with your brothers. Go in the room. Go. But that's a part of me learning myself and creating those healthy boundaries so that I can also create in a more organized way and be able to deliver the message in a more organized way. So anyway, meditation is a sense of peace. Is actually in the Bible as well. When you spend more time meditating, you'll have more control over your thoughts in your life, and you'll begin to realize that whatever you think is what your life is, and that's what you're amplifying. So if you think fear, you're going to get fear-based experiences. If you think negative, you're going to get negative experiences. And that's what I say is the power of the tongue. Is the power of the thoughts too. It's the same thing. You're still amplifying it, whether you're conscious of it or not. And a lot of people don't know that your subconscious mind drives your actions. This is the conscious moment. I'm nursing my daughter. We're talking. What I'm doing right now, what we're doing is the conscious moment. The subconscious moment, the subconscious mind. This is the conscious mind. The subconscious mind drives our actions. And it's scientifically proven that it's physically impossible to know what you're thinking in the subconscious mind unless you bring your attention to it. But our actions are driven by our subconscious mind. So if our actions are driven by our subconscious mind, and that subconscious mind is built of everything that that we've experienced. So with our subconscious mind, I'm gonna give you an example of what that looks like and why meditation is important. So you wake up in the morning, you hit your foot on the side of the bed. You say, okay, ouch. You go to the bathroom, you drop your toilet and a toothbrush. You leave out the door, you're cursing out everybody on your way to work. Life is just life in this day. Once you get to the point where you say you get to work, your boss getting on your nerves, everybody's getting on your nerves. The truth is, you had control from the start. When you hit your foot on the bed and you didn't decide to breathe and release that ouch for real instead of rushing into the bathroom and dropping your toilet into the toilet, only if you would have just had a moment, breathe, ouch, that hurt. My day is not going to start that way. Be intentional about your steps. Set your intentions for the day. My day is not going to start this way. But instead, we're so used to getting up and repeating things, hurrying up and get to work, cursing out everybody while we're driving, when we could have set our intention before we left the door, and that could have made our day a whole different day. So that's what I mean about subconscious reactions and not knowing. So if most people don't know why they're upset, that's a bad thing. That means that a lot of us are walking around on autopilot. So spending time with yourself and not being in the habit of things that don't serve us in our lives, like going out drinking, going to the clubs, trying to be in the latest this and the latest that, those things don't feed you what you need to be fed. And solitude is how you create that relationship between yourself and the creator and be able to know the difference, because some people think they're talking to God and it's really their higher self. Like, you know how thoughts pop up in your head? That's not, people say, oh, God said it. That's not always God. And you need to know the difference, because some people might be talking to something on a lower vibrational level too. So that's why it's important that when you hear something pop up in your head, you need to know the difference. Who is it? What is that? Is that my thoughts? Is that my self? Is that my conscience? So understanding our consciousness, different levels of consciousness, will allow us to have the ability to appreciate something like meditation. So when you're meditating, when you first start, you want to start to breathe. Most people don't know how to meditate. When you meditate, you find a quiet space, you close your eyes, you find your breath. When a thought pops up, you bring your attention back to your breath. When a thought pops up, you bring your attention back to your breath. And next thing you know, you're going to be floating in a whole nother area that you don't even realize, where you're not thinking about anything. And that level of mind control, you can manifest and create and do whatever you want, speak affirmations, whatever it is that speaks to you. And you can hear yourself and hear your thoughts and hear them clearly. So that is a very important takeaway, is understanding the different forms of consciousness and how we are creatures of habit, and how you can maximize your life by meditating and having a quiet moment. You want to start with 5 minutes and then you go up from there. You start at 5 minutes a day, and then when you're ready the next day, to add 10 minutes, add 15 minutes. One of the best places to meditate is in the shower in the dark.
I one of the things that I've started to practice with myself, and that is I try to think before I speak.
Mm-hmm.
Think before I speak, and make sure that when I speak is something that really matters.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm working on.
You know, because what happens now, we can actually talk ourselves into a negative situation.
Yep. with our
I
own
was
thoughts.
I was talking to my brother today, and my
Hmm.
brother shared an incident. He said he was driving. My brother actually lives in Florida too,
What part?
in Jacksonville,
Okay, he's close to me.
and he said that he had a run in with a road rage situation,
Mm-hmm.
and said a guy threw the finger at him, and he started to go after him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just thinking about that, that's when you get into a position where somebody threw their energy at you,
Mm-hmm.
and you subconsciously allowed them
Yep.
to now penetrate your energy
Yep.
and your positive thinking and turn it into a negative. And my brother said he thought about it and he had to regroup and then say, "Hey, why am I go chase him down for what?"
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us have to take that time to regroup, think about our actions, take a deep breath, and you'll start making the right decisions when
Yep.
you do that, which will be beneficiary to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's one of the things that again that I remember listening to you talk, and you a lot of people don't know, but I've seen you go on Facebook many times and be on there for hours, and
Mm-hmm.
people will be just chiming in because of the information that you've been
Mm-hmm.
sharing, and
Mm-hmm.
they've been watching you, as you've been naturally
Mm-hmm.
doing things that had got you to a point where I realized that you started to show me, and I was watching you find peace with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I want that peace for myself too.
How would you do it? I can tell you how to do it.
Go ahead.
Go within yourself. Separate. Start evaluating things and seeing it as go back to your most traumatic experience in your life, but don't start with that one. When it comes time to find peace, we have to understand where we came from, all the things that happened, because those are the experiences that mold your reality. So go back to all the traumatic experiences, what your mother and your father taught you, what lessons you learned, even down to your military experiences. You want to start with the least traumatic because that can be a lot. I completely separated myself from a lot of people. When I say I up and left, I took Nala, I was pregnant with her, had her by way of a one night frenzy. And after that, I learned I was never an out there type of girl in the first place. Although I had 3 children by 3 different fathers, I always dealt with one person. But, but, okay, hold on 1 second. Aiden in the mirror. Aiden in the mirror. I don't understand. And I'm not even about to go there while I'm on this stream right now. And if you want me to, we can. I'm glad I didn't have to tell you what I needed. Um, so get her yogurt too. Thank you. Um, that is why I don't like to be interrupted because then I'll be off track. What was the last thing I said?
No, but I mean, when we be just talking about, as far as like you speaking things into
By myself.
existence.
Okay, yeah. So I moved to Florida. You have to start to separate yourself. I left. I just left. I left the 6-figure jobs. I had 2 doing hair and then Department of Homeland Security. You have to literally be when you're ready. You literally have to be ready to literally shed away everything that don't serve you. I'm talking about friends, family, jobs, habits, thought pat. All of these things have to change all at one time. It is not you can't play around with it because you know better. When you know better, you do better. So when you choose not to, you have to keep repeating the same lesson over and over again. So I literally said, you know what? I'm done. I know I'm a boss. I know I'm supposed to do this. So I got away from the high paying jobs, moved to a completely different state, and I'm about to move to another one. Move to a completely different state. And I've been so at peace. But just know when you do that, the amount of things that come to challenge you is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you take that leap of faith, you got to be ready because it's not easy. So some people don't want to get into astrology. Astrology is a key. Sacred geometry, numerology. Look into those things and see if it resonate with you instead of judging it because you have a religious background, and that's not for you, but that's for anyone. There's so many things that we have to use to help us. If you look on Google, look up mindfulness techniques. Which one resonate with you? it's so many different ones. So you can't use the same lotion for the same person. So you have to be able to see what works for you. So whatever your experiences are, you have to find time to go within yourself, breathe, and meditate through it. Even if you have to find someone like me that can help guide you through the first couple of episodes and experiences where we go and visit those situations so you can learn to rewrite your story. Because PTSD comes from your mind remembering an experience that looked familiar from your most traumatic experience. But you can reverse PTSD by constantly showing yourself that it doesn't have to be that way and just keep reinforcing those positive habits of mindfulness, be it meditation, sound healing. These are things that I do. You have people that do Reiki. You don't have to do Reiki if you don't want to. You can go to yoga studios. If you want to work out, jog, go to the mountains, go to some type of elevation. Like a mountain is beautiful. It's so many different things you can do. Meditative writing exercise is extremely powerful. If you want to try that today, we can too. A meditative writing exercise would be super cool. I can also do a sound healing meditation with you guys today as well, if people want to see what it's like to actually take that moment. So we can do that as well. That could be a little surprise thing that we do. So just let me know.
Yeah. So one of the things that what I would like for the viewers to understand, when we bring a guest on like yourself, we are not telling people that we are trying to change their life. We're only trying to get them a path of understanding so that they can have a better life.
That's right.
Question.
And yeah, got a question. Let me see. It says, is this a learned practice or time thing for meditation?
Oh, meaning do they have to learn it or do they naturally have it?
It says, is this a learned practice or time thing for meditation? So I guess what they're saying, do you have to learn how to meditate?
Yes.
And do you have to practice at it?
Yes, and it does take time. Yes.
And it take time.
Because think about it like this. Think about anyone that has anxiety. This will be really powerful and helpful for people. When you have an anxiety attack, you don't realize that you completely stop breathing and restrict your own air from a thought. So once it gets to a point of you're having a anxiety attack, that means that you ignored stress in your body. Anxiety attacks come from ignored stress. You have to do something with those experiences. If you don't, your body takes the impact. So if you have an Apple Watches tap you to let you know to breathe because it senses you're not breathing from your pulse. So if people have an Apple Watch and they have that experience, they can resonate with this and they say, oh, that's why that happened, because you stopped breathing from a thought. And I know this because I would sit on posts and when I would think of something stressful, it would tap me to breathe. And then I thought about, oh, what was I thinking? And this was during the time that I was doing my healing and everything. And healing is something that you have to consistently do. But as I was stating, when you have these experiences like anxiety attacks, you ignore the TV came on. Not the enemy trying to get involved. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. So everybody that's just joining in, this young lady, Itasha, she has been
I had my TV just
really growing. She's been growing into this era of being a goddess, and this is something that she has been taking very, very serious. And over the years, as I've been watching her to develop into the young lady that she is, I've been learning things from her periodically myself. And so one of the key elements is to start to really get to know who I am and stop. What I would tell many people, and I would ask you, Tasha, if you agree, you have to come to the realization that you stop lying to yourself. You gotta be honest. If you're a mean person, you're a mean person.
Self-talk.
If you're a selfish person, you're a selfish person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to see some development, you gotta address these things and then start to make changes in order to get different results.
Mm-hmm. You do.
Right?
You have to accept it.
You have to accept it. And a lot of us, like one of the things that I always told myself, and I always said this, I'm not an abuser of drugs. I always told myself that. I don't care what nobody said. I don't care what drugs was out there. I don't care what I tried. I am not an abuser of drugs. So I manifest this from my speaking And then I tell myself, and I'm when I say this, I know I shouldn't say this publicly because many of us lie and say we haven't tried this, that. I've tried many things just trying to fit in with the gang and the guys or whoever, whatever.
You
And
should say it. You
I
should
always told myself I'm not an abuser. I don't abuse my body like that. Now I'm in transformation right now because I have abused my body with food. I have abused my body by not putting the right substance in me, and so now I'm taking that very serious to try to change my intake. What they say you are what you eat. Okay, I want to be something. I want to be something positive. I want to be something strong. I want to be something nourishing to others. I want to be something that's going to be an inspiration. And so saying that means also what I put in my body and how I present myself and carry myself and how I treat myself. And this also, and I'm just saying, I'm not telling you, I'm just kind of making these out. So if I go around the wrong path and you think I'm going the wrong way, stop me. But I think that when we are in situations and we're dealing with other people, we have a tendency to want to change their patterns instead of changing our own. Instead of getting to know who we are, what our triggers are, and why we are the type we may become very aggressive. We may become we want to separate. We may want to shut down. We may don't want to touch. We may don't want to talk. We get into these areas, and sometimes we'll blame the other person when it's really who we are. And when you get to know who you are, then you start to be able to fix these things and start to find that inner peace within yourself.
Yep, that's correct. And the world is not built. I'm sorry, I heard something. The world is not built the way they've made life in the United States. I'm gonna speak on because that's where we live at. It was done on purpose to keep us far away from and creating these traumatic experiences like the way things are going right now. These things are created so we can get far away from ourselves. So we constantly in survival mode, so we don't have time because it takes time to get to the point where you have having anxiety issues. And I'm going to that because that's relevant to getting to know yourself. Having control over your thoughts and knowing who you are and where you came from and going back to your childhood. These are all important things because if you don't know who you are, you don't know who you're presenting yourself to as far as a relationship. And if you haven't shown up for yourself and you haven't spent time with yourself, really spent time with yourself, then you really can't expect somebody else to tolerate you if you can't tolerate yourself. A lot of people don't like to be by themselves. And a part of me moving away and not having sex and being intentional about getting away from the high paying jobs that I kept on saying I was going to do and did not do it. I accomplished some things at those times, but I was in my own way. It's no way you can be successful in life or you can get $1 million contract here and you can do these things if you do not if you don't give the forgiveness in your heart. If you don't deal with yourself, you're going to continue to create from where you are. You can only attract from where you are. So if you're in a broken place, you're going to attract broken people.
We have on here Harold. He said, "Is it better to start by yourself or with a group or someone with experience?"
It's better to start with, depending on this. Now, that's a good question. It depends. Do you trust yourself? That's the first question. That's what most people's problem is. Like for me, even that was my problem. I kept going to other people to see if they can help me when I was supposed to help myself all along. So it starts with self-realization. If you want some guidance, definitely talk to a professional, but be mindful of the professional that you talk to because professionals, and I always talk this and they get mad if they want to, I don't care. But if you go to a counselor that is licensed, they can't touch certain situations. They can't talk about certain stuff. And they signed off on not doing so. And furthermore, if they started teaching you what they know, like the subconscious mind, the limbic system, which is where the pineal gland is, the prefrontal cortex, the thought. If they teach you that, they won't have a job. So they try to put people on medication. Healing, counseling shouldn't take years. You shouldn't be with the same counselor for years and months. The goal should be to go to a person that can teach you how to do it yourself. And that's what I do. I do spiritual life coaching. I do mental health. I've had people reach out to me because they left the mental hospital and they sent them to me for me to help them. But I don't take insurance right now. And I ain't in no rush either, because you got to struggle with them people to get your money. But it's not about money for me. I can do this for free all day long. That's how I know I'm in the right space and what I'm doing. But yes, I highly recommend starting with yourself. A group is good too, but we have to be mindful when you get into groups with titles, like no disrespect to anyone's AKs or any of those things, these sororities and stuff like that. I highly recommend doing it yourself. And I say that because there's always some form of a motive when you get into groups. They have a certain thing they go by. If you play it safe, you learn nothing. That's with anything in life. If you play it safe, you learn nothing. Do it yourself. But also reach out to somebody like spiritual advisors. My spiritual advisor, Sugar Shane Mosley's ex-wife, her name is Ion. I post her all the time. She's amazing. She's amazing. So definitely starting with self is important. Fellowship is important, but who you fellowship with is even more important. So it's in a world full of tricky people, you have to be very mindful of who you communicate with.
Yeah.
Because sharing your ideas with someone, subconsciously they can cast things on you. That's why they say don't share things, because a person can be in denial and envious of you. So you don't want someone else's prayer, their negativity, to be more than your amplification of your prayer for your own good. Every time someone look at you, they could be like, "Oh, I can't stand that mother." You know what I'm saying? I hope they never make it. But that's why you got to constantly stay grounded. That way, if you stay grounded, you know, oh, something's not right with this person. Yeah. Because men have intuition too, and men need to learn how to use it, but it's not natural for them. Naturally, men are logical and women are more spiritual by emotion. So, did that answer your question? If they have?
No, I think you did. I think you did. I just want to take a moment and just say greetings to everybody that tuned in: Brenda, Andrea, Harold, Faustine, Adela, Beth Roots, Khalil, Julie. Thank you, Judy, for the donation to the podcast. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Susan, Angela. We have we have quite a few people in. The Queen Rachel. And also I wanted to say a shout out to the TikTok family, because I'm pretty sure that Queen Rachel, she always ties us in that area. And I just wanted to say that to everybody, let me say this. An individual like Itasha is an individual that I enjoy speaking with, because she always giving me something, not that's pertaining to her, but it's pertaining to me moving forward to be a better me. And so that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to get you on, because I wanted to verbally also say thank you, and the energy that you send. I give you a prime example. People can send energy, and the other day when you was fixing the Queen Week, I was like, whoa, but
I couldn't see anything you were saying, by the way. I don't know why. On Facebook, I couldn't see nothing you were saying till after. I was like, what the heck? I couldn't see none of the comments pop up. That's why I wasn't responding.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But I was just sitting there and I was watching you, but it was giving me good vibes, because you were talking and you was doing this, but this is something that I know that you and I share. And so I said all that to say this. That's the purpose of people to people. What we want to do is we want to bring individuals into a realm that we can find answers. We can put ourselves in a position where we live to help one another, to reflect truth. The truth, as they say, set you free. Mm-hmm. The slogan I use is people to people, power to power, positive thinking people, right? Mm-hmm. Itasha, that's you.
Thank you.
You are people to people. You're a people person. Mm-hmm. You relate to people. You possess a power a power that you can bring out of other people. But you know, when you bring these powers together, what you then produce is positive thinking individuals. And you as a goddess, a lot of people say, well, who could give her that title? She can.
I can explain it to you too, because I used to say Queen Itasha. So I used to go by Queen Itasha. I love royalty. I used to go by Queen Itasha, but the reason why I stopped doing Queen Itasha is because queens and kings, when you think back into those times, they had people under them. They're the superior ones, right? Well, gods and goddesses embrace all life. No one's above or below anyone. We're all equal. Every animal, every insect, every person. There's no person above another. So I wanted to call myself and my children, I was doing young conscious kings, but I changed it to young conscious gods because we all are gods. You don't have to give your power away. And a lot of people have a problem. Oh, I would not dare say I'm God. I wouldn't dare do that. But the creator runs through you and you give your power away every day that you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Every day that you don't know who you are, you give your power away. And every day that you think you're not worthy enough to look within and get your answers from yourself, you give your power away.
Yeah.
Every time you think that you don't have what it takes, you give your power away. Every time you feel like you want to go follow someone, you give your power away. Every time you look for someone else's validation other than your own research and your own self-worth, you give your power away. And it's very important that we understand that we are gods and we are to carry ourselves like so. And if you don't, how can you have, they say cleanliness is close to godliness. Why is it that so many people don't understand that? Because they weren't taught. This was by design.
That is something, again, when we talk about people not understanding, when we say we're made in the image of God. If you're made in the image of something, then that means that you're walking and you're responding and you have the powers. Not saying that you are God, but you have these powers. If you tap into them, that you can change your life.
Yeah, I'm not God. That's not what I said. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what you're saying. No, you're saying it right there. We're not saying we're a God. We're saying we are gods. We're not saying we're the creator. No, we're not saying
no. But see, when you look at the magnificent body, how the body is made to heal itself, how God, when God put this together, let me tell you something.
What's the problem?
I know that he sat back and he said, I'm going to do something amazing, you know. And when he did that, he created us in his image. So,
and that's another thing too. If you want to go there, we can, but that's up to you.
No, go ahead. Come on now.
I would say that when my children were little, I try not to put, like, for instance, like genders. If I think of God, I'll say both. And I say both because when we're all born, we're all females for the first 6 weeks in the womb. If you look that up, it's scientific facts. Everyone, male and female, starts off a female for 6 weeks in the womb. So when I asked the boys years ago, I say, is God a man or a woman? Literally, I never taught them anything. They said both. I never said anything to them about putting my opinion on them. They said both. And when you do more research, you will find that they say, oh, well, we came from the rib. This is what I mean by they put so many things out there, but so much of it don't make sense. And instead of us questioning it, we just let it be and we let it float in the air. And again, it takes away the power of understanding who we really are and what this whole system was created to do. But be it a male or female, it does not change. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I'm being honest. I don't know. But I'm not going to call it something that I know or feel that it's more to it than that. Does that make sense? And I'm not afraid to go against that. And thank you, Dad, for allowing me to express that because that could be a tough one for people when you say that.
It says, Faustine says, Psalms 82:6 says, you are gods. Just Google. Yes, human, what is it? Embryos. Oh, human embryos generally start out as females in the womb.
So how is God a man? When man don't create life. Women were
But
able to get, that's a whole deep situation.
no. Let me tell you about that. Let me say
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking just from my belief. I
Mm-hmm.
always said to myself, the closest thing to God was a woman.
Because
Now, the
you
reason
know
why I said
that.
that,
Mm-hmm.
one, and I'm not taking nothing away from being a man. I'm just
No.
saying, but the woman, she can handle pain at a level that's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched one of my boys be born, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell you, there's no way he could have come out of me. I'm just telling you, there's no way. And how women have done this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I know somebody had 18 children.
And back in the day, they used to deliver them themselves. Nala
Yeah.
was my first home birth.
And then on top of this, what I'm talking about, we're talking about wait here, you can have the baby, and then long as you nourish yourself properly, you can nourish that baby from your body.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that.
That's what I'm saying, and they don't question. But it's the reason why they oppress women. I'm not a pro feminist. I'm not. I'm raising young gods. I'm raising sons too. So one is not more superior than the other by any means. But we all have to find that balance. So I
It
love
says,
that.
it says, women bring forth life.
Mm-hmm.
Women bring forth life. It says, the goddess, I would like to network with you because we're working in the same flow of life energy. That's Queen Rachel. I call her Queen Rachel.
Please
She
send it. Send me a
yeah,
DM, Queen Rachel.
she's another amazing
I love
woman who
that.
deal with natural healing,
Mm-hmm.
natural things. She's in tune with so many things on a natural level. Let me say this
Mm-hmm.
for everybody that's tuning in, and we running a little longer than we got started late, but
Mm-hmm.
I ain't rushing to get off.
Me
So,
neither. Let's
and so
go. Come
anybody that
on.
don't want to hang in there, I ain't mad at you, but this is an opportunity for us to find
Inner
some
peace.
knowledge, peace within ourselves, and put
Answers.
ourselves in a position where we can say, hey, check it out. You can go to the scripture, you can go to the Google it, you can do whatever you want.
You
But
gonna
one of
find
the
it.
things you want to do is you want to go to self and understand and deal with truth. Know who you are. Know who you are. Because let me tell you something. What I know is this. I know that I am a man that believes that there's a higher being, and
Mm-hmm.
I believe that I'm made in his image,
That's
and I
it.
believe anything that I can conceive, I
Mm-hmm.
can achieve.
That's
And
it.
that means even to all this negative energy that I put into my body,
We can fix that.
I can reverse it.
I can tell you exactly how to do it too. I can tell you how to do that too. You gotta cleanse.
That-
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I want to say this. I know Dad will love this one, but let me not cut you off. I apologize for
no,
cutting
no,
you off.
go ahead, because
Okay,
I'm in cleansing right now. That's what I'm doing. Go
good.
ahead, talk to
It's
me.
important. So to help with detoxing, intermittent fasting is very important. Intermittent fasting is extremely important. You want to get some, this is for, so I'll give you guys advice for children as well. You want to make sure you have a parasite, a natural parasite detox along with it. Because from the foods we have parasites that cause the cravings. Moringa seeds, Moringa seeds. Moringa seeds is good for cravings. Black walnut abstract you can put on the tongue of a toddler. It helps with sweet cravings. It helps with cravings. It's so important. And I say that because bitter crystals are good too. This is important because if you're trying to cleanse and you're around all these different foods, you won't have as strong cravings and you'll sense the difference in your body when you remove the parasites with it. Because if you don't remove the parasites with it, the cravings will come back. Intermittent fasting helps you eat less and eat only what you need. And then when you do eat and you eat something healthy, your amount of energy is going to be through the roof. So you want to do alkaline water, very important. Moringa seeds and bitter crystals, black seed oil, super important. I can go down the list of these things, but the baseline, parasite cleanse, along with your detox. When you're detoxing, once you can still, so I've been vegan before. I'm never doing that again, just so y'all know. This is important information here. Why? Because the vegan community will make, and it's really not. a Caucasian man created vegan, and I love everybody. I don't care what your nationality is or your color of your skin, but I'm just being honest. Vegan was not created from the colored people. Colored people created plant-based diets, what it's supposed to be. Soy is not good for you.
Hold on. Hold your thought. Now, somebody would think you don't have no clue what I've been through over this last weekend. Somebody would think that I told you some of the things that you talk about right now. They would think you don't even know what I've been experiencing with my friends over the weekend is talk about parasite cleansing.
Wow.
I mean, we talking about seriously. They are plant-based individuals. Rodney, I just gave you some moringa to take home. See, so you know what?
That confirmation don't play no games.
I already know. I just wanted to bring that forth because here we are. God is good. I can give glory and praise. Come on now. I'm telling you, hey, some of y'all better get on the phone and tell them to get on here. So we got the goddess Itasha is in the house today. I'm telling y'all better get on here because they don't know. What they gonna find out is when you start to cleanse your body and cleanse your mind. Let me tell you something. What happened this morning?
I'm gonna tell you about the serotonin levels
my wife
afterwards
is in the room with me.
Mm-hmm.
We woke up happy. We woke up praising God. We woke up loving each other. We woke up with energy of pureness. And you know why? I can't speak on her. I started to cleanse.
When you make a difference, everything around you don't have a choice, so they'll eliminate yourself.
There you go. And you know something, me as the leader in my home, by me doing this, I seen it. It just she's latching on. And I want to say that to many people. Don't just cleanse with the food. Cleanse with your thoughts and your negative energy. Cleanse with the things inside of you. I don't know if this was somebody told me one time. They said, go back and visit the young you. You know what I mean? Find out what
happened.
What happened? Where you was insecure? Why you scared of the dark? Why you don't like people yelling at you? Why you don't want nobody to point their finger at you? Go back and revisit those areas and then deal with the truth or the reality so that you can move forward to be. I had a life coach, her name Hanadi. And this was one thing she told me. She said, Rodney, go back and talk to the little boy.
Yes, you have to talk to him every day.
She said, go back and talk to the little boy and let him know that you got him. Let him know that it's okay. You know? And the more and more, at first I kind of just didn't really
weird. It felt weird.
But you know something? When I went back to talk to little Rodney, Big Rodney was able to help him.
That's it.
And what we was doing, let me show you what was happening. By me going back talking to little Rodney and Big Rodney, they started to do this.
Now you understand your higher self.
And then we started connecting. And then I started to understand how to change. I used to couldn't talk about the abuse with my father without crying. I don't cry about it anymore.
Identify, understanding.
I went and dealt with it. The little boy that got abused by his dad don't have to worry about that no more because I can protect him. I can take care of him.
And now you can rewrite your story.
Yeah. And many of us got to do that. See, we find that we'll start blaming other people for our falls. We'll blame other people for our situations when sometimes it's us who are the triggers to these things that keep coming over and over and over and over. Deal with the truth. Go back to the little you, find out what it is, deal with it, bring it to the forefront, and then start to detox your mind, body, and soul.
That's it. And let me tell you, your pineal gland produces serotonin levels. That's 80% gut. Why you think people walking around evil? If your mood is 80% gut, which is serotonin levels, that's why it's important to feed yourself. So if you're going to eat meat, go to a halal market. Go somewhere where it was killed in peace and not with that with that hormone going through his blood of fear. Because when you eat that, then you're eating fear too. Whatever that animal experience, you consume it, you experience it. So it's not that
Talk
you,
to me, girl.
yep, it's not that you can't, eat those things. So don't go malnourished because it's meant for us. They say we're not supposed to eat animals. That's a lie. It's how that animal died and how much of that you eat. You don't need a lot of meat, but having some in moderation is not bad. Um, it's very important that if you're going to eat red meat, like I said, don't go to no regular butcher place so you know that animal suffered and all of that. I know a lot of people that went vegan and they almost died. It is not a game, so I'm not doing that again. Granted, it wasn't the vegan diet that made me feel like energized, and I realized that this go round now that I'm intermittent fasting and I'm being mindful of what I'm consuming. It was the fasting. It was the change of the mindset. It was the type of things that I was eating. So if you're going to eat meat, eat clean when you eat and eat more vegetables and fruit and take that starch and noodles and all that stuff out of there, that juice and them sodas and all that stuff. When you remove that, the sugars and all that good stuff, that is when you feeding yourself what you need. But first, before you can go back eating meat, once you do detox, you do have to do. Yes, baby. Yes, I'll give you some gum. Give me a second. And this is why I don't tolerate adults not having manners, because my 2-year-old says, "Excuse me." Like I was saying, that's why I curse them out when
So let me read some of the things that were. It says, Robert says, "I know that having a vegan diet cleanses and heals the body better than anything. Heals the body from any diseases known to man." Faustin said, "We just talked about the animal and how they were killed." We did. That's just some of the conversations that we were having. If you have a cow that was stressed all his life and you eat him, you eating that stress. That becomes a part of you. And then Harold said, "What if I did not like some of the things like little Harold did or stood for that I made decisions to never do as a big Harold?"
What if?
You know what? I mean, and I'm just my opinion. One of the things that you got to realize is this: if it wasn't good, then don't go back and do it again. If it wasn't good, don't allow yourself to be exposed to it. If you grew up in a household and you was yelled at all the time, don't stay in a relationship with somebody yelling at you. You remove yourself from it. You change your environment. You got to change your environment. You have to love yourself first. If you don't do that, then how can you love anybody else? A prime example: when you putting garbage in your body all the time, when your children come into the house and you say you love them and you feed them that garbage, is that really showing them that you love them?
Nope.
You know, what happens is then when you see they come up with cancer and you crying and you wonder why.
And cancer lives in all of us.
Yeah, we got to change these things. So it's very, very important for us to understand that, we got to go back and we got to make decisions that's good for us. And Harold, what I could tell you is this: whatever little Harold did that didn't make little Harold happy, don't accept it in your arena as an adult.
Some people don't know how to do that though. Respectfully, when it comes to stuff like that, like I think what he was trying to say too, along with what you just said, was like, what if he did some stuff that he's not okay with when he was young? Can you read that question for one more time?
I'm gonna read it again. He said, what if I did not like some of the things little Harold did or stood for that I made a decision to never do as big Harold?
Oh, just because you made a decision not to do it doesn't mean it doesn't still affect you. That's what his question, I think. It still affects you because you experienced it. So It's important that you still, just because you're not going to do it, that's just like me not having the example from parents, from my mother and father, but I still turned out an amazing mom, but I still make mistakes. But being conscious is so important, because just because you decided not to do it, don't mean that if you don't break that generational curse, that your children may not go through it so they can break the curse. So it's important that whatever comes through your vessel in your body, that if you already had offsprings, that you need to deal with whatever that was that you did, be it, I don't know why this came to me, but if you inappropriately touched anybody in the family, anything happened, it came to me. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. If it's maybe you were bullied in school, It doesn't matter what it is. This is a no judge zone. The matter is you're bringing it forth and you're ready for change because you're comfortable talking about it in the public eye. That means that you're ready to release it. So that's a good sign. When a person is transparent, that means they're ready. When you could talk about things. So when it comes to your experience with childhood, like I said, if it's something that happened, you still have to revisit it, accept it. And this is something I use to help people. I use identify the problem, understand where it came from, and acceptance doesn't mean you like it, but it does mean that you are aware of it and you can live with knowing that it happened and move past it. So that's why I use that for that. Ask him if you don't mind, if that answered his question.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to share, and we're talking about young traumas and things of that nature. I grew up in a household where my father was very, very abusive. I watched him abusing my mom, my brothers, my sisters. My father was very abusive for reasons that I later found out, not to excuse, but him as a human, okay, I did it. But one of the things that it did to me was it made me not be able to tolerate any man being aggressive with me. So now what happens is I developed this barrier that my wife had to help me break, where instead of me being able to walk up to a man and feel able to be in a submissive state of mind, I walked up to a man, even in supposed to be a good environment, with a little slight
chip on your shoulder,
aggressiveness, saying I ain't allow you to intimidate me. I'm not allowing you to hurt me. Like a lot of men, when we shake hands, and every man on here can tell you
the power to squeeze.
You try to get that grip on them. You try to get that grip on them from the beginning because you want to say, when you lock hands, you want to say, "Yo, bro, hey, I got this," But what causes you to do that?
Ego.
And egos and past experiences of things.
That's the ego.
Yeah,
know the ego is that, right?
Huh?
Your subconscious mind is where the ego lives.
Okay.
I'm gonna show y'all proof. I'm gonna wait until you're ready.
No, I'm ready. Come on, talk to me.
All right, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get something from my trauma course. I'm gonna show y'all. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay. For everybody just tuning in, this is people with Rodney Grimes. We're here with the goddess Itasha. I tell you, this has been fantastic. We had some complications started out, but I believe every time that we're trying to bring something that's going to empower us, negative energies will try to come down and hold us down. But you know what? When we believe positive energy is in the midst, it cannot overcome any negative things. And that's why I'm just so excited to have her on today. I'm not on the time schedule right now. I know that this is unusual for us to go past 8 o'clock. We normally on from 7 to 8, but I just want to say that this is a very, very unique and powerful this is a very, very powerful situation with us, and I'm just excited about it. I'm excited in so many ways, and how things is going. Hey, could you do me? And so I could just tell you that it's just amazing. Okay, hold on. I see Harold. Hey man, I'm loving these things you bring to the table, Harold. Harold said drugs and alcohol. Big Harold is not good to revisit drugs and alcohol. Continue to be Big Harold things.
So when you're with his, so he's saying that revisiting don't mean go and consume drugs anymore. It just means to go back to the memory in a state of meditation and rewrite your story. And I can explain how that works.
Right. But many of us, again, one of the things that we have to realize is this: in order to do better, you got to start to treat yourself better. You got to start putting yourself around individuals who mean you good vibes and good intent. Because if you don't do that, you'll find yourself going back with your triggers that are triggering you to go into these areas where you'll find yourself not feeling good. You're getting depressed. You're not happy. I had problems dealing with holidays because of some of the things that I was exposed to as a child. And I now realize that every day is a holiday for me. Every day that I wake up is a blessing. Every day, because I don't just put it based on Thanksgiving and Christmas, or my birthday or Valentine's Day, all that. No, no, no. It's a blessing to be alive. It's a blessing to have God in my life. Yeah, I praise Him and give Him honor and praise. The prayer that me and my wife, we prayed for, I think it was a good 30 minutes this morning. Hard prayer. We was praying and we was giving honor and praise to Him, and we was thinking within ourselves how we were really moving forth. Shout out to Faustine and Charles, man. Thank you so much for the celebration we had Saturday. But thank you so much for the cleansing that we were doing as we were having conversation, the cleansing that we were doing as I was detoxing my body and trying to get these parasites out of me, and these to get my weight down and just to start to feel better. One of the things that I noticed in this process, that I started to look at my wife different. I started to look at myself different. I didn't even realize here at 40, I could say 46. I turned it around. At 64, let me tell you something. I'm loving
Okay, I found it.
I'm loving me, and I'm doing the best I can to move forward and to make a big difference in my life. So for everyone that's out there, let me tell you something. Start within yourself. Don't be mad and pass judgment on other people because they're not responding and doing the things that you want. Start with yourself. Come on there, Goddess. Come on, talk to me. Where we at now? Where we at?
Okay, so ow. I hold on one second. Huh? Hold on, let me take a few deep breaths real quick. Just hit my goddamn foot.
Did you just hit your foot? Gee, look, is that what you was talking about in the morning? When you hit that foot, you gotta take a deep breath.
We are not going to continue this evening like this. We're going to continue to let this information flow.
That's right. But this is what I want to say to everybody that's joining in. Remember that People to People is a podcast that cares about you. This is not for me to be a superstar or anything. This is just me following what my creator told me to do. Yep. And that's why I know, Itasha, when I hear you when you talk about helping people and sharing, of course you want to get. Hey, we need money to survive. We know that.
It's going to be provided.
It's going to be provided. But in this process, the reason why I was saying that I wanted to bring this up, of course, if you want to, you can see it on the screen. You want to make a contribution to the podcast, please do so. But also know that I'm gonna have Itasha to give you her information, so that if you want to get some one-on-one sessions with her, you can do so, and you can be a blessing in her life as well, because she's a mother doing some amazing things, and she helps a lot of people. And so, before we end the program, we're going to make sure that you can get in touch with her. So what you can bring to the table now? Come on, talk to me.
So this is big, but I need the consent from the people. Do not screenshot this information, because I'm not supposed to show you. When I got the information from my training, my trauma training, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to give you time to consume the information, but do not screenshot it and share it, because I can get in trouble for that. Okay? So I'm going to show you.
What I don't want you to do, I don't want you to put it on the screen. You can talk about it, but don't show anything, because I don't, I can't say that everybody's on here is going to, honor. I'm not saying everybody I see on here. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want. Don't want nothing bad to come out of this, because this is a powerful, powerful program today.
Okay, but one of the things I can show you, this one isn't from my curriculum, but it does show a picture of the child's brain. This is on Google. You can see this.
Okay.
This is backwards, probably for you guys, right? This is backwards, isn't it?
Okay.
Can you see it clear?
I can see it.
Okay. So this right here, does this look familiar to anyone here? This part, hold on, let me look at it while I do it, because this is an awkward position to be in. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to get the lighting together. Okay. Does this look familiar to anybody right here? Right here. This area right here. Does that look familiar?
I don't know.
Anything from Egyptian? Do you see the eye of Ra in there, y'all?
What
I know
is it?
the eye of Ra is in our head. This is the
It's,
pituitary gland. This right here,
uh-huh.
the pituitary gland is right here. This is where the ego lives. This is where all of our the limbic system. This is the entire limbic system. This is a child's brain stays in the thoughtful part of the brain. Okay, a child's brain stays in protective mode. So now I'm about to explain it to you what you were just looking at. So in the limbic system, LIMBIC. This is really good stuff. Write it down. LIMBIC. The limbic system is where the pituitary gland, also known as the third eye, also known as shucks. They call it so many things. Pineal gland. One of the most poisonous things to it is the fluoride that calcifies your pineal gland. There's
Right.
fluoride in our water. You know they don't have fluoride in the water in Germany for a reason, right? They use fluoride to dumb down the jewels. That is in our water. Okay. So hold on, baby. This right here, this part is the prefrontal cortex. That's the thoughtful part of the brain. So before you can get here, you have to learn how to get out of the protective brain. Wait, my hand is this way. Okay, the protective brain. So I'm not going to show you what I have here, but I'm going to explain it to you. Why, like you were saying that you said it could also come from traumatic experiences. Your traumatic experiences is where the ego lives and how the ego is developed. The ego is developed from everything that you learn from past life experiences, from the time you were in your mom's womb until now. So that's why it's called a self-sabotaging protection, because it's who you made yourself to be. For instance, when you would show the aggression to the male, because you created this person as a self-sabotaging protection, and it's self-sabotaging because we think it's protecting us, but it's not. So that's where the ego is. So this is why when something happens, we all go through this process. One second. I'm about to, I don't want to yell in your ear. Hold on one second.
Everybody that just tuned in, this is Rodney Grimes, the People to People podcast. I'm telling you, this is phenomenal. We have the goddess Itasha on the air with us today. Her and I have been planning on doing this a while ago. This won't be her our last time. We're going to make sure that we bring her back on so that she'll be able to really be able to help us move forward with some other information, because we got different areas that I would like for her to address as well. So we will be doing a part 2 for sure.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make this quick though, because I know we gotta wrap this up soon. But I'm not rushing. I'm not rushing.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run till 9:30. Okay. So we got another about. Is that okay? We got another 30. I mean 20 minutes at least. So
okay.
Let me tell you something. When it's good information, time doesn't matter.
Nope.
Good information.
I got time, so. Huh? I said I got time. I don't mind.
No. Hey,
when I'm changing lives, I don't care. Time don't exist. Honestly, it's a whole
9:30. 9:30. We're gonna run till 9:30. We started late, but I knew that we was gonna go over. I figured we would go over an hour because this is very powerful information. Please, everyone that tuned in, please go back and check this out. Share with your family members. Share with individuals who's trying to change their lifestyle. They want to learn how to live better, love better, and be better. Mm-hmm. All of this comes from you learning how to detox yourself and detox your mental state of mind, and also your body, putting yourself in a position where you will be able to live better and be a blessing to other people. Go ahead, Itasha. Come on back to me.
It helps you with your level of confidence while navigating through life and having obstacles and stuff. That's something that I talked about on my my last live video. Is I talked about when you have knowledge, you have the confidence to navigate through chaotic moments, and you can utilize those moments as reminders to turn within yourself instead of using them to panic and feel like your life is crumbling. When things happen, we want to ask ourselves, what is the lesson in this? Instead of it being, oh my God, I stopped breathing, I'm just panicking, I'm just thinking about everything that can go wrong. But anyway, let's go back to what I was saying. And thank you, Dad. I appreciate you. And yes, I am here for you all. So please reach out to me. I'm doing God's work. I'm doing the Creator's work. That's what I'm here for. So when something happens, the limbic system is considered your protective brain. Children's brains stay there. That is why we grow up the way we are, and we're doing now damage control. We want our children to not have to grow up doing damage control. So we want to have an understanding. So this is what happens with the protective brain. I wanted to show you a picture of it, but I'm not going to do that. When something happens, your fight or flight senses come. Um, Roll with me with this. Pay attention to me. When something happens, your fight or flight sentence, and fight, flight, or what they call it, freeze. When something happens, SNS takes over, adrenaline builds, perceive others as a threat, reaction based on implicit memories, reinforce negative patterns and habits. You feel terrible, treat others poorly, damage relationships, feel less safe, less secure, less loved, not protected, need to protect self, mind scans for threats. That's what happens when something happens and you don't have that let's go to the thoughtful part of the brain first. This is where our mind stays. That's where a child's mind stays. So it's very important what we do when we are the authority over someone else's emotions. We have to be very mindful. And that's something that our ancestors, our grandparents, and our parents were not aware of. So how we're supposed to respond when something happens is what's more ideal. And from the prefrontal cortex, you want to get out of the limbic system and go to the prefrontal cortex first. That's the thoughtful part of the brain. The limbic system is the protective brain. Okay, that's that self-sabotage and protection. So how it's supposed to be is something happens, pause, just like Dad said, consider the context. Activate PNS with your breath. So you're going to activate that your nervous system in a more reserved manner. Okay. Gain perspective. Notice your feelings. Consider the feelings of others. See the big picture. Think about consequences of different options. Then you act. Feel competent and confident. Show compassion and empathy. Secure relationships. You feel safe, loved, and protected. Do you see the difference of how when something happens, how we process things? I'm sure everyone that's listening can say that they do not do that second one first. It's supposed to come natural. Scientific fact says that from the time you're aware of this information, it takes 25 years to train your brain to get to the thoughtful part of the brain.
Mm, that's
But,
amazing.
huh?
I say that's amazing.
But you can do things to help that, but you have to turn in and you have to be more natural and you can't be afraid. So when we're talking about holistic medicine, when we're talking about people that want to go to Aruba and they want to go and go under the tent and experience ayahuasca and get woke and realize, holy crap, like I'm talking about it's some real spiritual people. The Americans have no idea what we're capable of and what's already on this earth for us to be able to activate certain things in us. So I went there for you guys because that protective brain is self-sabotaging. And technically, that's why a lot of the Caucasian community get away with pleading insanity because they knew that they don't consider a person an adult until 25. So a lot of the black community, color community don't read. So they don't understand that they can say, oh, if I had issues in school, I had issues with this, then I can plead insanity too. But they're afraid and they lack the knowledge that technically before 25 and you've had certain habits, if you can articulate why you do the things that you do or have done the things you could likely get out of certain situations like they do. But they just know something that we don't. So this is really important information because the point of practicing mindfulness and eating clean and having the energy that you need, you're supposed to eat to feel, if you feel full when you finish eating, you didn't eat a nutritional meal. So you should be feeling like you have energy when you eat. um, it's important to have this information because without understanding that you need mindfulness practices to make your brain go there first, it's almost like you're working backwards. We're too far behind to be playing these games with people. So remove yourself from situations that don't serve you. Cleanse your body so you can listen to your higher self and your intuition so that you can make more sound decisions. Um, that would be my takeaway. Learn about the limbic system, learn about the prefrontal cortex, look up the things that affect the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the pituitary gland that I was just explaining to you guys. That is what produces our hormones, our serotonin. And right now, honestly, I'm going to give you guys some transparency. So since I'm sitting in front of the computer, I have on glasses because this eye right here, my eyes don't look the same as they did if you go look at old pictures of me, because I had some overactive thyroid stuff going on One, from not speaking my full truth. That's when your chakras can get off of balance. When you're not speaking your truth, you will have health issues. So my thyroid, from not speaking my full truth, and when I got out of a narcissistic relationship, it damaged me severely emotionally, and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do to reverse it. So now I'm reversing it, and I can fix it. So hypothyroidism can cause bulging eyes. So that is a moment of truth for me to you all. Speak your truth, be transparent. Don't lie to yourself. Like Dad said, you can't lie to yourself. The first person who knows the truth is you. So don't lie to yourself. If you know that something's not right, fix it. If you don't, I'm going to tell you this. This is the biggest piece of advice I can give you guys. If a person knows better and you're the chosen one, and I said this in my video the other day, if you know better and you're a chosen one, your karma's going to come back tenfold because you knew better. If these words leave my mouth to your ears and you know it resonates with you and you don't listen, it's going to come and get you tenfold because you know better. So if you don't know better, and I got chills too, if you know better, do better. If you think that you can just skip through life and half step, you're not going to get where you're supposed to go. It took time for you to get into this stressful mindset. It's going to take time for you to come out of it. So you have to, you can't just try to meditate one day, say, man, that shit don't work for me. I'm not doing that. But you 1,000 times you've ignored your stress, you ignored your body's response, and you didn't feed yourself what you needed. So it's going to take time to come out of it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope that it resonated with you. If you have any questions about what I just shared with you, please ask them. I'm here for you.
Okay, real quick, because we are going to get ready to get up out of here, but what I want you to do, tell them how to get in touch with you.
Okay, so you can either DM me. My Facebook is Itasha Thomas, ITASHA Thomas on Facebook. You can DM me or you can call me or text me. Right now I'm rebuilding my websites, but I do have a lot of reviews on Google. If you go to Mind, Body, and Stones with the and sign, you can find where I have like reviews and stuff like that. My contact number, I can give that to you guys, the business line too, is 407-449-9494. Again, that's 407-449-9494. It's the same number on my Google. On my Instagram, it's the goddess_Itasha. So I've done some great things. I have some very powerful people that I've connected with. I went live with Kevin Gates. I'm very proud of him. People know who that is, no matter what your age is. I like him because he's willing to show his mistakes in front of the world and get back up and not care what people think. So talking to him and being able to connect with him on another level, we definitely have to do a part 2 because I want to get into the body and some of those things that I've been talking about just longevity through semen retention, practicing celibacy, tantric sex. These are all things that are extremely important that we don't embrace because we weren't taught. Accountability. We got so much stuff to talk about. So, yep. That's the way to get in touch with me. My email address is thegoddessitasha1111@gmail.com. You can reach out to me there. I'm rebuilding my websites. I'm revamping everything. I used to have those corporate level websites, but I've been through some stuff where I had to just redo everything. And it was very necessary because I had to get out of my own way before I could be successful in what it is that I'm called to do. I had to be forced to do my own work. So that's where I am now. And that is why I experienced the bulging eyes. God knows how much I love myself, even at my worst. So he said, "Oh, you want to do what you want to do? Okay, watch this. Let me show you something where you don't do what you're supposed to do. Now I'm gonna make you do the work to come out of this so you can help other people because you knew better. You knew better than to sit there and indulge the way you did. Because I was like smoking Al Capone's back to back in a stressful relationship. Tobacco can cause the hyperthyroidism, diet, stress, pregnancy, all of that. Yes, Nala. Okay. Yes. So if you have any questions, thank you, Dad. I really appreciate you for bringing me here with your people and trusting me with your audience. I appreciate everybody who chimed in. I'm still going to stay in locked in with you guys. So in case you have any questions in Q&A, we can do that for the last, 5 minutes or 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate you guys.
Let me see. It says, does what you do consist of what's that?
Chakras?
Huh?
Chakras?
Yeah.
Chakra, yeah.
Chakras?
Well, yeah.
Does it consist of chakras?
Yes.
It's everything. I don't embrace just one thing. Now, chakras, don't get caught up into names. Since you asked that question, I don't know why you asked it, but I wanna bring some clarity to this because I said this on my live too. If you getting caught up into religion and words, it can hinder you from learning. Let me explain something about that. Chakras is in all of us. Your aura is in all of us. You can sense an aura and see an aura depending on what level you are in your consciousness. Everyone has an aura.
Right.
Chakras are chakras. They're everywhere. When I say in anime, chakras are real. Um, Look up the best advice I can give you about chakras since you do have that question. Just in case, this helps everyone. It's not to say that that's what you were saying, but I'm glad you said it because if there's someone in their mind questioning certain words like ritual is anything you repeat. If you get up, make your bed, brush your teeth at the same time every day, you work out, you eat at the same time, that's a ritual. It's something you repeat. Curse. Do not do not be don't feel this was done by design. These are words that our ancestors used before there was even English. Like these are you have to come out of the attachment to word status and titles. That's why we're where we are now, where we don't see clearly. And it's not to say that that's what you're saying. It's just for those that are having a hard time looking outside of the learned behavior. It's just to help you. So cursing. When we open our mouths is a curse. If you say, I hope you don't never be nothing for the rest of your life, be very careful when you talk to people, you wish things upon people, because whether they did you any good or not, it's going to come back to you. Do good with your words. And even that's even when you separate yourself from people. You don't have to be evil to get your point across. And that's something that I learned. I'm 36 years old. The most valuable lesson I've ever learned is you can have all the knowledge in the world. I'm not claiming to know everything, but I know what I know works. And I can say that with with me, with all the teachings that I've learned, and one of the biggest things that I learned is I don't have to be nasty to get my point across. I used to feel like, oh, respect is earned, with my parents. And I'm gonna say this too because this could resonate with you guys. In the old school, a lot of times when you express yourself, they don't really allow you to express yourself. So when you're with the old school, they're attached to words as well when it comes to certain things. So don't let those words like cursing, make you feel like that you have to be attached to that. And anything outside of that is just demonic. Our work is called demonic, but it's really not. And that is why a lot of us are lost because, like I was saying with the old school, was something I was about to tell you about the old school, but then I was listening to my children and it kind of threw me off. But no, see, no. Go back in the room. Your brothers, they gonna get in trouble when I get off of here. They ain't gonna have no technology. When I get off this live, they ain't gonna have no technology. They're gonna be real mad. So anyway, I got 3 more minutes.
Hey man, hey look, hey, first of all, I just want to just tell you thank you so much. You and I are going to talk because I want to set this back up so that we're going to be better prepared. I would like to apologize. We had some technical difficulties early on. I'm also a believer that when positive things are coming and resonating, negative things will jump in and try to hinder us. Again, this was very, 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 this was just such a blessing. Faustine said very informative. Rachel said, awesome show. Thank you, Goddess, for sharing your knowledge with humanity. We again, it's people to people, power to power, positive people. And I'm gonna tell you something. I just want to say thank you to all our supporters. Please remember, it's not about me, it's not about you, but it's all about us. And remember this. Just you see that little baby that getting in there, coming up, that beautiful young girl right there. Let me tell you, she belongs to all of us. Y'all got to understand that. All of our children that's up under us, they belong to all of us. And we got to change the way we are providing information so that they can pick it up. And that's one thing, Itasha, I know that, I seen your boys. I seen how
I'm going to let them see them. I'm going to let them meet the boys real fast.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening to you, Dad.
Tell them to come in.
Aiden and Amir. Come here.
Come here. I've over the time I've just been watching and listening to you, some of the stuff that some people would probably say, oh man, that's off the chain. But I think that you're doing a hell of a job as a mother. and I really, really, I'm really proud of you, and I think that you're an amazing mom, and you raise them boys to be young, powerful men, and that's amazing thing. So kudos to you.
He's the one that did the photo shoot for when you was in my stomach and the one when you came out.
What's up, young man?
You smiling?
How you doing?
Yeah, say hi. That's Aiden.
How you doing?
He's 14.
What's happening, bro? Hey, look at you, man. You growing up to be a nice looking young man, dude. I remember when you was inside the stomach.
Mommy.
So, but man, you're blessed, man. You got a beautiful mother, man. Your mom is an amazing woman, man. I know you know that, and continue to listen,
Come here.
learn from her, because what she's bringing to the table, man, is a blessing to many, many people. I'm sure that a lot of people that's going to join in and see this program later is going to realize that, hey, you can change the way your life is. You can change the bad habits that you have. Start detoxing yourself with the foods and with the people around you. Detox yourself from the negative things. And believe me, it will benefit you in the long run. I know the day after the experience I had over the weekend. What's up there, little guy? How you doing?
That's Amir. My boy's big. They can't see you. Say hi. This way.
So again, I'm really excited about what's going on and how we're going about things moving forth. Remember, People is a podcast that's the People Talk Show podcast. Okay, this is where we come in to say, hey, we want to make a difference and we want to bring some things to you. Also, I want to let you know that we got a special coming up where Man is having a reunion with all the gentlemen who was hosting Man in the Mirror. So y'all gonna be. I know that I think that it may be a flyer put out that'll probably be put on my page. So if you see that, you're gonna want to tune in. Where it's gonna be Nate Jenkins, Boo Jones, Rocky Grimes, Ralph, Thomas, and. I forgot the other gentleman's name. No disrespect to him, but so be it. But anyway, it's 9:30. We gotta go, and I just want to say peace and blessings to you. Thank you, the goddess. We love you so much, and we want to tell everybody. Guess what? It is up to you to make the changes in your life. You got to do what you got to do. Love you, because if you can't love you, can't nobody love you, and if you can't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I'm telling you, this has been an amazing opportunity. Itasha, I love you, sweetheart. God bless you.
Too.
And you continue to do what you do, and we will have a part 2.
It's People to People, the People podcast of the DMV. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about we and God we trust. Sir Rod and Lady Z. PTP.